Voting session. We're going to start with a public hearing. An ordinance of the Borough of Westchester, Chester County, Pennsylvania, amending the code of the Borough of Westchester, Chapter 37, Animals, to add a new article, Article 7, to be entitled Sale of Dogs, Cats, and Rabbits, to provide for regulations and restrictions upon the sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits within the borough, and to renumber the current Article 7, Violations, to be Article 8, continuing to provide for the same violation and penalty provisions.
So this only required two things to do for the procedure for this public hearing. The one was we had to advertise tonight's hearing in the Daily Local News on August 11th, 2025. And we also sent a copy of the ordinance for public inspection to the Daily Local and Chester County Law Library on July 21st. So the title that you just read summarizes the ordinance. You already have a chapter of your code, Chapter 37, that addresses some regulations relating to animals. This would adopt a new article that has provision.
I'll make a motion to adopt it.
We
Oh,
have to have
wait.
public hearing first.
Got a little excited.
Public comment, please. Hi there. Good. All right, if you would also state your address. Thank you for your comments. Are there any other public comments? Okay.
All right.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
Please, Mr. Chair. Ms. Camp, in the ordinance that we have in front of us, was there a carve out for responsible licensed professional breeders being able to sell in retail stores? Okay, that was one of my main questions early on as we walked through the process. So if I was a professional breeder and I have a friend that has a pet store, I could bring it there, show the dogs, and then sell the dogs either there or at the house. But that's not carved out in the ordinance. Okay, thank you.
All right. Should I make a motion? All right. I will make a motion for to approve this ordinance and move forward.
I second.
Thank you. Mr. Mector, call the question.
Ms. Dorsey?
Yes.
Mr. Flynn?
No.
Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Travis?
Yes.
Ms. Shimoni?
Yes.
And Mr. McCoy?
Yes.
That's 5-1. And for the record, Sheila Vaccaro is absent.
Okay, thank you. We will bring, I'm going to call to order the Borough Council meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Ms. Simone. Okay, we have two announcements this evening, three actually. Announce the Borough of Westchester administrative offices will be closed Labor Day, September 1, 2025, which is hard to believe. Labor Day already. Special meeting of Borough Council on August 28th, 2025 at 6:30 PM to consider awarding a bid for the Gay Street closure project. And finally, we held an executive session this evening, 8:20 at 6 PM to discuss personnel matters. Next, we'll move on to comments, suggestions, petitions by residents in attendance regarding items that are not on the agenda. Thank you for noting the first two, and yes, all the executive sessions have been properly noted.
Converted a nice bank into a nice restaurant for $20 million. So I'm concerned about bid. And my concern about bid is the small business person, not me, the small business person. I look at somebody like High Street Cafe, and Donnie over there has been in business 29 years. He's just barely making it. If the bid program does not allow him to opt out of the program, then that'll be one more little thing that's going to cause him to go out of business, and we'll lose a nice restaurant. There's a lot of restaurants and businesses that just can't afford to do another tax. I know we're calling it a fee. The stormwater management was a fee, it's a tax. But I feel bad for people who just can't afford it. If I'm a retail person in the borough of Westchester and I'm on High Street and I have a hotel, I have a restaurant, I have something that they may help me with by bringing customers into the borough, that's fine. But it's really, I think, a super adequacy. Why do I say that? I say it's a super adequacy because we're spending roughly $300,000 in salaries against a budget of $500,000 that's going to be spent. If somebody showed me that on a piece of paper in one of my businesses, they'd be out the door the next day. That's just frivolous money. You need to pay attention to it yourselves because it's not something that if it's instituted without proper review, it's going to come back and bite us as a company, as a borough, as it's just for the small business person. It's not fair. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any additional public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to comments by Borough Council and Mayor. Mr. McGinnis.
Thank you very much. With that, tomorrow, August 21st, begins the move-in to Westchester University for the students. So welcome to those students coming back, and also welcome to the borough for the students that will be freshmen this year. So what that means is that's more businesses for restaurants, shops, increased demand for rentals and housing, as some of you may know, and seasonal jobs. All in told, roughly that benefits the local economy and outside of Westchester about $75 to $100 million a year annually, just having those students. So that is a good thing. Welcome. With that being said, I also want to make a transition to being a student some 25 years ago and celebrating the retirement of Tony Jones. I've known Tony for nearly 25 years. I worked for Westchester Public Works Department that summer. That summer actually changed my life, believe it or not. A young Brian McGinnis was on academic probation and working on the back of a trash truck. Tony was one of the drivers. I got to know Tony very well. My father got to know Tony very well. My brother did, and family. We'd always see Tony at at the Giant. I just saw him recently. All around great guy. So Tony, if you're listening, Public Works Department, if you're listening, thank you and congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you. Mr. Travis.
Just a PSA. Mr. McCoy mentioned that we're already staring at Labor Day, and I think some of us are trying to squeeze in a little bit of summer left. There's a hurricane spinning out in the Atlantic right now, and most of the beaches are closed from North Carolina to DC to Delaware. And I have 2 nights in Dewey, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, but I'm probably not going to go out in the ocean, and I definitely don't recommend anybody else trying to do it because of the rip current. So a little bit of a PSA. Also a little story. I spent a week last month in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee helping families restore some semblance of what their lives were like after they got hit with Hurricane Helene. It's just devastating. I mean, entire railroad bridges, traffic bridges were completely wiped out in that devastation. Hurricanes are no joke. Don't go out in the water. The beaches are closed unless you are a lifeguard or a search and rescue person. That's my comments.
Thank you. Ms. Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. One, just, summer is coming to a close. Children are going back to school next week in Westchester. And we have one concert in the park left at John O'Green tomorrow night, I think. And then the restaurant festival will come in a month later in September. So looking forward to seeing all of you there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Flynn.
Greetings from the sweetest ward in the borough, the 6th ward. Guess what, council? I finally did it. I shut down borough property operations. My birthday is September 1st. So my mother said I would do something great one day. And there you go. I was able to shut down the entire borough for my birthday, 74 years. And haven't gotten any smarter either. So as we go through. So that's one good thing. The second thing is I would like to thank Public Works. We had, during our committee meeting, we had some quality of life issues that needed to be addressed in the town center. And the Public Works team went around and cleaned up every one of those weeds and trees and trash and cleaned up the big bellies. They did a great job in 2 weeks. And they have a program now that they're going to try to stay on top of it. Mr. Anderson did a great job with that. And on Saturday, the 23rd, on Gay Street, we have a mini golf, the Welcome Back to Westchester University students. And I'm going to be standing at the one of the putting places. They have one on the east side, one on the west side. And I'm going to be challenging people for charity for a putt out. So anybody that thinks that they can out putt me, show up, $10, 3 balls, and the money goes to charity. It'll be the St. Agnes Day Room renovation. And lastly, I want to thank May's Restaurant for their struggle through many, many months. They tried to stay afloat. They had excellent food, but the owner of the business had to be there the entire time because they couldn't get over the hump to hire another chef. And I hope, he said he'll consider doing it someplace else in the borough. His food is phenomenal, farm to table and clean. So I want to just publicly thank him for making it through the COVID years. And now, of course, now it's taken a toll on the, his business and himself. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mooney.
So, talking about years ago at Westchester, when I was younger, I used to ride my bike all around the class. I would wait tables uptown, rode my bike uptown, rode my bike everywhere, all around Westchester. I don't do as much of that anymore. I walk a lot. But, the question really is, how come we don't see a lot more people riding bikes around town? With that, the Westchester Community Campus Committee has created a survey. We want to understand more about what people like about biking around Westchester, being able to park their bikes around Westchester, what they wish they had biking around Westchester, just information about riding bikes around Westchester. These signs are posted on most of the bike racks around town. I still have a few more to get to, especially around the university. The borough has posted this QR code on our website. And also, I'm trying to get the word out on Facebook and other places. But if you or someone you love likes to ride a bike or would like to be able to ride their bike more, please have them fill out the survey so that we can take that feedback back and we can use it internally with the campus committee and also pass it on to our transportation advisory committee that we stood up this year as well. So anyway, you can still ride your bikes in the fall.
Thank you. Madam Mayor.
So thank you, President McCoy. There's 2 events coming up I'd like to share. One is part of the Welcome Back festivities for the students, but also Westchester University is extending it to the community, and that's Friday night fireworks. We haven't had fireworks since the bicentennial 25 years ago. And so Westchester University is having fireworks at South Campus from 8 to 10. They have vendors there. They're having activities there, and then the fireworks will be there. And the community is invited, and it is free. So come out and be a part of that. And then secondly, there are many people who do charity as Brian Travis does. And on Saturday, September 6th, there is a garden tour called Secret Gardens of Westchester. And Flowers and More are putting it on to benefit the Westchester Friends School. All proceeds benefit that. It's a self-guided tour. It's Saturday, September 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So there's lots of things going on. The community and the town and the university are revving up. So I hope to see you Friday night, 8 to 10 at the fireworks. And then touring around Westchester if you want to sneak in the backyards of some great gardens of Westchester.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one comment. I didn't know Tony Jones last night, who was recognized for his service, but it occurred to me that we have, I'm sure, dozens and dozens of staff amongst the employees of the borough that are also the glue of what makes Westchester the way it is. And, I think it's that glue in the culture of the borough that keeps people like that here. And, I'm glad we took the time to recognize Tony, but, make an effort to thank folks when you see them in the building or out in public works, collecting trash or fixing the roads or whatever. So with that, we will move on to reports and presentations. We have presentations by Lee Reynolds, Executive Director of the Westchester Area Senior Center.
Hello and good evening. Can you hear me okay? everywhere? All right. I'm Leah Reynolds. I am the newly executive director installed at the Westchester Area Senior Center, which you know is 530 East Union Street when you come to lunch. And I think it's important for our other communities to understand what the programs are that happen and what happens at our senior center. This is not something I need to educate our mayor on because she's a visitor to the senior center, and we're grateful for that. And I'd like to have all of you know you're invited to come to our senior center. It is a vibrant hub of a large section of this community. It's diverse. It's interesting. It's like a party every day. Everyone is excited to come in the door because of the programming, not just the free lunch for anybody over 60, but the programming. We have a dozen different fitness classes. We do singing bowls, mindful meditation. We have 3 language clubs. People are coming to have that social engagement that is necessary for the health and well-being of everybody, no matter what age. But in this case, we're looking at older adults. So I extend an invitation to you to come. I brought my business cards with my email and my cell phone number on it. I would love to give them to you. And know that you have a whole section of your community thriving, vibrant, fun, engaged. We are doing all kinds of things with different officials at every level of government in the county. So please, if there's some kind of information service you want to have or an event you want to have, our senior center is huge and we can accommodate that. So any questions for me? All right. Thank you so much for letting me say hello.
Thank you very much.
I think since Mr. Flynn has shut down the Borough September 1st, he needs to celebrate his birthday at the senior center.
Get a free lunch.
Yeah,
You're over
great.
60.
Yeah.
Okay, we will move on to new business. Is there any new business? Seeing none, we'll move on to old business. Discussion, motion to approve engagement letter with the Cohen Law Group for the Comcast franchise renewal.
This was just put here because to separate. Yeah.
We don't have any additional questions, so I would ask that somebody make a motion.
Mr. McCoy, I make a motion to approve the engagement
Oh,
letter.
is there any public comment? Okay, seeing none. Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the engagement letter with Cohen Law Group for Comcast franchise renewal.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Metric, please call the question.
Ms. Dorsey?
Yes.
Mr. Flynn?
Yes.
Ms. Vaccaro is absent. Mr. McGinnis?
Yes.
Mr. Travis?
Yes.
Ms. Shimoni is recusing herself.
Recuse.
And Mr. McCoy.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Next, we'll discuss revising the Borough of Westchester public speaking comments policy, the verbiage on the agenda, and the time limit for public comment. One public comment before we discuss it. Feel free to comment now.
I'm Eric Lorgus, 117 East Middle Street. And so I saw the ACT meeting on video that happened, I guess, a couple weeks ago. And I'd like to give Lisa Kearns credit for being very, very articulate about why I think it's important for people to be allowed to speak at meetings. You should be interested. I mean, this is not so much the right of someone who comes to council to speak, but I really think it's something that you should be interested in, is that when someone comes in here and takes the time to come to a meeting, they're not well attended, there's only a few people here, but if they take the time and the effort to come to this meeting, I think that you should listen to them, hear what they have to say. Sometimes you might be enlightened, you might learn something, sometimes not, but why take the risk? So I'm in favor of not restricting who can speak at a meeting. There should be a time limit, of course. And then the other thing is that the home rule charter, has a whole section about citizen participation. And I think that reflects that, I was on the commission that wrote the charter, and that reflects, I think, our opinion at the time about how important it was to encourage people who come to meetings to be allowed to participate. I know it's ambiguous. Apparently what we wrote was citizens, and, we can all debate about what citizens mean, but clearly we didn't write residents, because if we had, then I think everyone would understand we were trying to be restrictive. We wrote citizens, and I think that should be interpreted broadly. So thank you for your time.
For your comments. Ms. Camp, I think we were going to rewrite some language.
Today, hopefully everybody had a chance to look at it. I don't think there's anything that needs to be revised in, obviously, the home rule charter or the administrative code. I think that the interpretation of citizens, at least the majority of you last evening were in favor of the broader definition of citizens. Dana did provide to me, and I apologize I didn't have it last evening, but there was a policy at some point adopted about how to engage in public comment during a public meeting, which actually is not being followed. In that it says there's three instances where the public, and that policy doesn't define what the public meant, have an opportunity to speak. And one you are following, and that is before the agenda items, public is invited to speak for any matter not on the agenda. Then it has, obviously, once an action is being voted upon, under the Sunshine Law, it's a motion's made, a second, you can open it up for public comment then. But then these rules also say that after action on all agenda items has been acted upon, you're given another opportunity for public comment. You don't have to do that under the Sunshine Act. The Sunshine Act only requires you at one point of your agenda to allow public comment on things not necessarily on your agenda. So I didn't know if what might be appropriate is just to adopt the amendment to that policy that incorporates the discussion that you had last evening, to open it up to the public comment at the two times that you're allowing it, which is before you go to the agenda items on matters not on the agenda, and then as an agenda item is being voted upon, after it's motion second, and then public comment on the motion. You would change that policy to reflect that that's the practice that you're following. And then also you would add public comment from residents, taxpayers, and visitors. So it's clear that the word citizens, as it's used in the Home Rule Charter and as it's used in the administrative code, does not necessarily be a narrow definition of the word citizen to be just citizens of the borough. It's a more broad definition of the word citizen. So that would be, from what I understand, from what the majority of council wanted last evening, that would be one way to accomplish your objective.
Any public comment? Council? Okay, so I guess we should make a motion to adopt that language.
Mr. McCoy, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the language to include citizens, taxpayers, and visitors for public comment.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Metrick, please call the question. Comment, sorry. Okay, seeing none.
Yes.
Excuse me, Ms. Dorsey,
Yes.
Mr. Flynn,
Yes.
Mr. Vaccaro is absent, Mr. McGinnis,
Yes.
Mr. Travis,
Yes.
Ms. Shimoni,
Yes.
and Mr. McCoy.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move on to old business, our consent agenda.
Mr. McCoy, I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it. Oh, and
Yes, public comment. Thank you. Mr. Metrick, please call the question.
Ms. Dorsey,
Yes.
Mr. Flynn, Ms. Vaccaro is absent, Mr. McGinnis,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
Ms. Shimoni,
Yes.
and Mr. McCoy.
Yes. Is there any other business?
Hi, my name is Kyle Hudson, 202 D Baptiste Lane. 6 months ago, me and my neighbors came to you guys about help with the crosswalk near Hillsdale School on North Bradford Avenue. School is coming back in session next week, and I was just following up to see where we are on the crosswalk enhancements.
So we'll need to follow up with the Public Works because I think we're going to paint the lines there, Mr. Metric.
So we've communicated to East Bradford. There's been a work order created. You should see changes soon.
Okay. Just because my neighbors were asking me, so I could just tell them that. All right. Thank you.
Darrell Cook, South Walnut Street. When was the last executive session? Thank you.
This evening at 6 PM. Any other business? All right. Thank you. We're adjourned at 7:01.